It's live.
Boom ski.
Boom
Right when you go
skizzles.
live, my printer decides to start ghost printing. I hear it back there. I don't know if you guys can.
That's
It's
the
just
ghost
getting
of
after it.
that's the ghost that live in your house, bro. From like thousands of years ago.
1956.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ryan's house was built in like
1856.
1856.
Yeah.
He's got like
These are some old
Indians.
school
I
ghosts.
know,
He's
but
got
I'm
some
telling you,
Indians and all that jazz.
In my
this
head.
ghost is from 1956.
In my head, they talk like
I mean-
they're from like the 1400s. So they're like, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?" They're like, "No, we're from the 1800s. We don't talk that way."
You're not even scary because I can't understand you.
Uh-huh.
To be or not to be, I kill thy now.
Babe, you hearing this guy? You hearing this ghost? He's talking like he's from Shakespeare. I'm sharing this thing just so you.
Oh yeah,
Willie,
we,
is that you?
we know. Willie. Oh Willie.
Wow.
If
Okay,
Justin's
so
in the
I-
chat, hit us up right now. Hey.
We're live right now, so I won't mention the story, but I looked it up, and the real thing popped up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. The whole yeah. That would be very shocking, so to speak. I'm excited to hear your news.
It's just going to be 3 bigger stories, because my other 2 were already kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
So this one won't take long, obviously.
Well, it flipped one of my groups, you know. Almost shared to it. Ugh. They wouldn't have been happy with that, and I would have been like, deuces. I don't need you guys anymore. I got other groups that are accepting of my posts.
So I'm
if
guessing people
I
are just doing
bought-
mods for that.
If I bought DayZ,
Mm-hmm.
how long would it take to download?
Oh, not
It's pretty small. It's
terribly
only
long.
20 gigs.
Yeah, it's not a big game.
So if I bought DayZ, would you play it tonight?
Yes, I absolutely
yes,
would.
if you click download now.
But
Like
that
if you
is going
download
to
it
cause
now.
lag, and my voice is going to skip all night.
True, true.
Oh, no, we don't want that. I hope that's not going to happen with me. I do have good internet, so hopefully not. But my computer's...
We've heard that story
Okay.
before.
Hey, but
That's
I'm
what
all
she said.
about you getting that Daisy, son. I found out that you can do a lot of cool things on that game. Like you can what was it? Oh,
Well, you don't have to talk me into it, bro.
Okay,
I already
gotcha.
want it, but it's just
I got you. All right, are you guys ready to do this?
No, it's doing the thing where it won't let me share. See what I'm talking about? For the fans?
Oh yeah.
It does this where my page doesn't even load up on Facebook. It's just the top bar. And then you don't get anything, like no actual feed.
Oh
It does
nice.
that. Yeah. Then I gotta like back out and go to it again, click overview, and then back out and then go to it again.
I got you. Well,
And then
guys,
all of a sudden-
while we wait on Ryan, we're gonna serenade you with this super sweet gaming music we got in the background. Hey, in the
Oh
future,
yeah.
in the future, guys, we may be switching over to a Discord recording.
we will
if
be.
I can
We'll be
figure out
switching
how
to Discord. I just put a
switching
pin in it.
that over. Well, I like that because I can probably play stuff to where you guys can hear it on that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
you can.
Also,
Yeah,
me
you
and
can.
Ryan could probably be able to talk without you being here, because when you walk away, every time you turn and clean feed off, and we can't talk together.
Oh, is that
It's
what
really
happens?
annoying as your counterparts. Yeah.
Well,
We just know that you love to micromanage things.
Yep. I can't.
If you guys
let
are
go
listening
of all-
out there, he actually makes all the content and makes us just repeat it off of a sheet. We don't even
Yep.
get to do it for ourselves.
Yep. None
Oh,
of
yeah.
it's
and if this is
original.
your guys' first time listening, this is the live copy. You know, so you kind of get a little bit of the intro talk, outro talk, a little bit going on.
Yep.
When we go out, when we actually put our podcast out, it's all trimmed down and clean.
Yep.
But when you're watching live, you get the little pre-production,
Yep.
a little bit of post-production.
And the live is a little more raunch, you know, a little more cray.
You cut some of the raunchier things out when it goes to the regular.
Sometimes it depends. Like sometimes when you're just fully describing the female genitalia, you know, I just go ahead and
I don't know
clip
that,
that
I
on
usually
out.
do that.
oh yeah.
If I were doing that, I guess.
Yeah, in the manner that
cut
you
that
did
out.
it, I was like, ooh, you know. Ooh, I was a little... Oh, we lost 2 viewers right there. Sorry, guys, for the offensive talk, you know? I mean, we could be dropping F-bombs every other word. That's what most streamers do. Not us, though. We're real proper. We're not really, you know. It's we have restraint, but if you can think of college humor or, you know, think of when you were in high school, you know, that's kind of where it all derives from. Our inner high school comes out on this podcast. Man, Ryan, what's going on over there, buddy?
Which is probably just the real inner you.
I'm about to fall asleep.
You know, you've buried.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of those things Clint liked me to do, is to share. So that's what I'm doing.
Rough.
You forgot I was so popular. I had so many places to share.
We started with
Since they
6.
fixed
We started with 6. We're down to 2.
I'm pretty confident that was your vagina conversation. But I mean, you took the blame for it real quick, and I was proud of you. And then all of a sudden, you tried to take it back onto me just now. But I'm not taking it. I'm ready. I'm all shared up, and I'm ready to go.
Oh, I hate you. What were you gonna say, Hunter? I'll let you.
I even gave Justin a shout out and told him to comment, and he didn't do it. So
I
don't know if he's even watching.
Do I need to text him and say, "Boy"?
No, that's okay. If he's not listening, then we don't want him here.
No. He's probably playing DayZ right now.
Yeah, he probably got tired of waiting.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready this time?
Hey, I want to do a challenge sometime where we all play a video game while we do the podcast one night.
Ooh.
Like, do the podcast while we're playing a game.
Yeah, I don't know if my internet can handle that though.
Yeah, it could. Sure, it could.
Over here with 70 megabytes,
Even if we didn't
baby.
do it live, we could just record it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. All right, let's get this going. Tonight on the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
I want my creative abilities to flow freely.
Should I stay or should I go now?
Gaming accessories for the win now.
And now, the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
And we know you haven't been hiding under no rock. You've been listening to the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast. The hippest, hoppest gaming podcast around. Episode 49.
We're hip and hop because the way he just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like how you ripped off of my intro?
I
I
love it.
liked it. Yeah, he questioned us like whether we were ready, and then he stole yours, so he wasn't ready.
I
love
totally
it.
No way.
It's really good.
I was actually just going to say gaming accessories for the win. But then the way he did that, I was like, hey, I can do something, you know?
It was pretty
Right.
quick. I'm proud of the quickness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
other people probably thought it was pre-planned. It wasn't, guys. We're professionals.
Yep, we just go on the cuff. We're kind of what you call, what are those called? The on-the-spot guys.
Hold on, timeout. I know you won the down the pike thing. Really, it was both, so it was an equal thing. But I'm pretty sure it's off the cuff, not on the cuff. Is anybody?
Did I say on the cuff? I thought I said off the cuff.
Yeah, I think you did. We just go
No,
on the cuff.
I thought I said off the cuff. I've never
Alright,
said on the
agree to
cuff.
disagree.
Ooh, well, if I did, it was my mistake. So that's
Hey,
okay.
we're almost to episode 50.
Hey, but way to derail the intro like normal. And to my left, we've got Ryan Maddox. Ryan, how's it
you
going,
guys already
buddy?
heard from me.
No, we're doing the part so that I can cut you out. To the left, we got Ryan Maddox right here.
What's up, guys?
And then down below, we've got Hunter Venable.
Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. There you go.
For the audio podcast, Hunter's pointing up. So, yeah, Hunter's got a big week ahead of him. The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
That's right, baby, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. I'm going for the Chiefs. Why not?
People are
Go Chiefs, go.
They're losing. They're losing it over this thing.
Are they?
Mhm.
Well, hopefully they win. You know, the Chiefs, they haven't won the Super Bowl in forever. So.
50 years, son.
Yep.
We haven't been to the Super Bowl in 50 years.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
Something
they
like
can
that.
pull it off.
No, they haven't won one in 50 years. I don't know.
So if you like those football video games, you need to hop on your Madden and start doing some Chiefs Super Bowl games. You know,
That's right, bro.
practice in your head.
That's always
what
original.
You're gonna say.
Chiefs Kingdom. I appreciate it, Justin. My homie. My homie.
And then we got Ryan over here. He doesn't really got much going this week, although he did get a new mic, and it sounds smooth.
I don't even know what that means. He doesn't have much going this week. Not
like
sure.
like you don't have much going on in life in general.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
Only
helping
3
you out
times
there.
more than either one of these guys.
The most busy, unbusy person I've ever met in my life, Ryan.
He makes work
Most
for himself.
busy, you usually say most busy unemployed person, which that actually makes sense. Most busy unbusy, it's kind of a flop.
You're cutting out. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Cool.
Your internet. Oh, so tonight I handed it over to Ryan to hit the news, and so he has some news stories for you guys. Some. We said that with a question mark.
Before you roll that, we want to make sure I'm not still cutting out.
Well, you acted like you didn't care and was going to move on. So
You were good there, so.
Okay.
I called his bluff. He
No.
wasn't expecting it.
No, it was more of like a cool, like that sucks. What can I do?
Yeah. That's sad. And then Hunter's going to hit us with tips and trips. Tips and trips. Tips and tricks.
Tonight
Hunter
we're taking a toke.
Taking a
And we're going to talk about some tips and trips.
Oh, wow. Oh, I see what you went with that. Okay. At first I was like, wait a minute. Is there a game out there with tokens?
No. There's plenty of games with tokens in them, but...
Yeah. Not the kind of tokens I was thinking when you said that. I see what you're saying. I see what you did there.
Joking token.
Joking token.
Joking token. Sweet. Well, and then I'm going to hit us with some gadgets and gifts, and I found some cool gadgets. Gaming gadgets. So it'll be fun.
We'll see. We'll see how it is, because, your definition of cool is different than me and Ryan's definition of cool. So.
This is true.
Most definitely.
But what I'm really interested, folks, is can Ryan get through the news without cracking?
Like my voice cracking, because if you're talking about my skill, it never cracks.
Leaks for Geeks.
All right, guys, we're here with the news, and guess what? We're not going to talk about because I'm the one doing the news. Politics. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
This is a gaming and dadding podcast, not a politics podcast. But I'm going to start off here with, kind of a tribute to Clint, since he usually does the news, and he's the guy that's into the Blizzard Activision world the most. Actually, just the Blizzard world.
Oh, I know where this
less
is
Activision.
going. I already know where this is going.
But Clint knows where this is going, so I'm going to let him roll with it.
We're talking about Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Most definitely.
People. Goodness.
People are losing their minds over this game. What Clint is probably speaking to is the fact that the game is trash. Mm-hmm. They did the Reforged. They did the whole, obviously right now for Blizzard, the big thing is kind of going nostalgic, right? Going back to the old school World of Warcraft, which is like crashed the servers and made it, barely playable at times when it came out. It was such a big deal. And they're pushing some of these revamp type things. And so now they do the revamp of Warcraft, which people have been losing their mind over in excitement prior to the release. After the release, quite the opposite. It's full of glitches and bugs and not at all what people thought. Even the way the matchups are put together are different than it used to be. And it's not nostalgic at all. It's really like a new game rather than a good-looking version of the old game, if that makes sense. So people are not happy about that. That's just the icing on the cake for the story that I'm talking about right now. Because the thing that really caught me is, Warcraft is kind of like Arma. It's in a game in the sense of it's all about the mods. It's like the custom games that people build out of Warcraft 3. That's what made Warcraft 3 like the game of its time.
Mm-hmm.
We have multiple other games that came out of Warcraft 3 that were actually big-time sellers, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And became their own standalone games because of the ability of people being able to build custom games within Warcraft. Well, of course, everybody's excited to build some new custom games within the new Warcraft 3 with all the beautiful, wonderful graphics. Well, not so much anymore. That's because they came out with a privacy policy and basically your terms and conditions and released that. And it is, you could say, a little over the top. They have all kinds of regulations, all kinds of stuff in there that's basically setting it up to where at any point in time, Blizzard has complete control over your customization and your custom game. So they can completely shut you down without any forewarning if they say, hey, we think that something about this is offensive. Mm-hmm. They can take control over it to the point of changing it. Mm-hmm. If you have something in there that they disagree with or something like that, they can just adjust your custom game. And then, we actually see this for other games that are, able to be modded and things like that, to where there's, obviously some regulations saying, hey, we don't want the kind of traction here that makes it, what do you call it? Offensive to a bunch of people, where people are going to purposefully make offensive games and mods, which we'll be talking about a really offensive mod on another game later that'll tie into this. And so I understand why they're putting some of those limits on there. But in the past, if you didn't know from the original Warcraft 3, there were a couple big game developers that developed games out of that. If I remember right, I want to say Valve even developed one of their big-time games.
I know there was Dota 2. Dota 2 was a big one.
Yeah, Dota 2 came out of it. Yep.
Hey, the only way you're getting shut down is if you're doing Liberate China maps. You know what I'm saying?
I thought we weren't going to go political, Hunter.
No.
I had to do it.
See, I stayed out of it. See, I was over here staying out of the landmine.
And so, some of the people are frustrated in the sense of the ability to create stuff not being as free as it used to be, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like some of the games that were real big in the old one that people were looking forward to making was a Pimp My Mario Kart. There's a game called DBZ Tribute. I don't know what that is, but it's one that was really liked back then. And then also one called Anime Fight, which was built off of the Warcraft 3. And those three are pretty much not going to be able to be recreated due to these policies that are built into the new one. And so there's a lot of people that had a lot of intentions, not only to rebuild some of these games that were popular, but kind of to be in a race to get the most popular rebuild, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they
so
want
it's very community driven, and people were excited. Now they can still play Warcraft 3 original. That's still out.
Right.
But
yep. They can still play the original and still mod it and all that kind of stuff too. I'm pretty sure this agreement is only here with the new one.
To me, I think
when you first,
I think the biggest thing that they're doing here is what we discussed, what you mentioned earlier. I think they're really trying to make sure that nothing big comes out of this again, and they miss out on the cash. I think that's
that wasn't.
So give me an example.
I hadn't even mentioned that yet. That was my next point. So,
sorry.
You're all right. The big thing is exactly what Clint's saying. If that's not bad enough that you can't go back and make and play some of the games that you've loved about Warcraft 3, the big problem is they actually have complete copyright ownership of everything that anyone creates within the game. That's the big problem. That's what Clint was preluding to. Basically, if you create something in the game, even if it's just a small aspect of your game, they don't even like your game, but they love a little idea you had. They have complete rights to take that idea and apply it to their own game, any kind of creation they want to. So basically, you're, in a way, free designing for them, right? And so in the past, when Valve and some of these other bigger companies actually launched big games off of this game, the original, they made the money. Well, of course, Blizzard was out, and that's not a good thing, because there were big money made off of side games that burst out of this and became their own games. But
and they're sitting there kicking themselves like, man, we should have had a piece of that.
Yeah, so explain this to me.
The other way.
Just explain this to me because I'm lost a little bit, and somebody that's viewing might be. So you could make mods off of the previous games and then sell them?
Well, basically, you're using the platform, meaning
kind of like DayZ did with Arma.
Yeah,
okay, so it's not
refer to it as
necessarily
another
like
driver.
WoW, but it's something they used for to make their own. Oh, I got you.
Right. And so
That makes sense. Yeah.
within the game, because it's editable in the sense of it's designed to be moddable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of the game is for you to go in and do your own builds and have your own gameplay set up for it, right? And so what happens is people design games that end up being bigger or even better than the original game, right? Like what was that? Dota? What'd you say? Clint, what's it called?
Dota 2.
Dota 2 was a huge top seller. It was a game people just loved, but it was a game developed out of this original Warcraft 3. And so there's other games like that have done that. And so Blizzard really missed out on that. Well, I think they should have made a type of deal to where, maybe you own a portion of it. Obviously, the original, I'm losing the word here, Clint. It's not driver. What do they call that? Engine. The engine behind this game is what's being used to play these other setups, if that makes sense. And so, sure, the money and the infrastructure went in from Blizzard, so they should have a piece of that, and maybe even the majority, right? Maybe they get 75%, you get 25%, but that actually would encourage people, because even guys with small ideas would then build ideas just for Blizzard to take, and they'd make some cash, right? Kind of like, in a way, freelance designing, right?
Yeah.
And that would actually, I think, boost the drive of smaller developers to play and mess with it. But instead, they own complete control of it in the sense of, at any point, the way it's worded is, at any point, they can take that game and build a game out of your idea, or just take part of your idea and shut it down on here and then build another game with it, right? They can do anything they want to, or even if you monetized the game that you built on it and you did a bunch of work to monetize it and get people to your server, and say you were bringing people to a website that was built around that game, that's all money for them because they own the copyrights to that game.
Right.
And so they have the ability to come to you, and it wouldn't be like a big lawsuit. They're going to win. It's written in, But
I
kind
don't see
of
why
development you make off of that.
I don't see why people are shocked. I mean, well, for two, I mean, I kind of sit on the side of because you mentioned should they have all of it. Well, to an extent, maybe, because this is a game, not a creation engine, in the sense of you have things like Unity encouraging people to come create a game. Right? Whereas for them, it's create your own custom games within our game. And so that's why I'm not so angered about it. But I'm also not surprised by it, because in World of Warcraft, they've been doing this for years. People put mods in the game. And for instance, one of the big ones they did was is called Quest Helper, was the name of the mod. And so it was an add-on that you put on your WoW, and it would tell you where to go, where all the quests were at on the map.
Oh, okay.
For you to speed up leveling. And then at some point, I don't know if Blizzard gave them any money, but at some point, Blizzard put in their own Quest Helper. It looked almost identical. They just polished it up a little bit. Boom. Now it's a staple part of the game.
Yeah, so coming from somebody like Clint, who's experienced from World of Warcraft, that they're going to do that anyways, probably, more than likely. Maybe the guy did make some money, but also from someone like me or Hunter, well, we're not game modders, and I've never been involved in a game where I do that kind of stuff. It's not been my past. It would almost be expected, like the way Clint said it for me, in the modern age, for anything that you developed off of my development to be mine. I mean, to me, that doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it is to the people who had the freedom they had with the original Warcraft 3. So basically, they set their hopes higher than they should have. But I mean, Warcraft 3, when did that come out? That was like
a long time ago. I can look it up real
early
quick.
Early 2000s?
Maybe even further than that. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'll search it up. But I mean, we're talking. I mean, that's a whole different era, a different generation of gaming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything has changed since then. Technology has advanced so much that to not expect that, to me, is kind of like you kind of set yourself up for a big bomb.
It looks like it released back in 2002.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about 18 years
almost
ago.
20 years.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah,
so
when you're talking about gaming or digital technology, no, it was kind of not the right place. I understand that you're upset. I do think that your original expectations were out of place for the modern age.
Yeah, internet's
and the way
changed
that
since
gaming
then.
and stuff is changing. Yeah, I mean, even the guys who develop, imagine how many games could be developed in the modern day with the speed and technology we have for game development compared to how much work these modders had to put in to make custom games back in the beginning. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and people might correct me and say it's not mods, it's actually custom games, it's settings that are built into the game. That might be true. In reading the article, it's hard for me to tell. I've never done it. Do you have any idea, Clint?
I'm not real sure because, I didn't get into Blizzard games till 2009, so I missed the Warcraft 3 boat.
Okay.
I just
gotcha.
know games like
So-
Dota 2 and things like that came out of Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. Those were the two big ones that
Right.
were.
Yeah. And so, yep, there's two huge stories right now that are at the top of the charts. One is everybody hates the game. Two is everybody hates the privacy policy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of big bad news for one game to have on its release.
Yeah, I've listened to some stuff, like some reviews. It seems like people are more upset because Blizzard originally came out and said they were going to do some certain things and didn't do it. I think it's another one of them. They didn't have time. But they did do a reskin of the game. But as far as cinematics, all they did was upscale the old cinematics. So you don't get any new CGI stuff.
Okay.
I think the intro CGI is new. And they did like an Arthas versus Illidan fight. That was, the Lich King and Illidan. And that was, to me, pretty cool. But I was reading YouTube comments on that, and they were like, it looks too anime, it looks too fake, it looks fan-made. And so, I don't know. Maybe this is just a hard audience to please on this one. Because it's so
What
nostalgic.
do you mean it looks fake?
Yeah.
It's always looked fake.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I get it.
It
But
is
I think it
animated,
would be-
guys.
Actually, I think it'd be pretty sweet. if they
Breaking
came out-
news.
If they came out with a game like World of Warcraft style, but with like super high-end realistic graphics. Like
That'd be
Vikings
sweet.
Just look like real dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the
And, like,
monsters
really,
you fight
really,
are
really gory too, like a really bloody, gory game. That would be pretty sweet.
But see, the issue with that, though, is that's why WoW has survived as long as it has. Because they went with the more cartoony, faker look. It's been able to stand more the test of time. And problem with games that have done the super realistic visuals, within 4 years, they're out of date.
They don't look realistic
Yeah,
anymore.
and so people
Yeah.
grow tired. And it's harder to keep that. It's harder to update that, so to speak.
I'd be alright jamming on one of those for 4 years, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Hey, everybody. The next thing on here is going to be Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love it. Been around. It is
We
what
use it.
made... Yeah, we use it. Yeah. It's what made streaming.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to gaming,
It's giving
it's,
people
it's
careers.
the top dog. It's the creator, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's the YouTube of game streams.
Well, it's now the battle royale of streamings companies. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We've got a couple big ones in there now that are constantly going against it, and Facebook is just exploding. But they've got so much money that they're dumping into it, and they're a very big tech-savvy company. Of course, those of you who don't know, which most of you do, Twitch is owned by Amazon, right? And then you've got the big one right now that's fighting against Facebook and Twitch that came out really around the same time is Mixer. Mixer was out a little earlier than Facebook, I think, but they really got popularity right around the same time Facebook started exploding. And then you've also got, of course, Google, which is the biggest tech giant there is, and they are continuing to push YouTube streaming in their gaming community. So what's been going on, which pretty much started off, in my opinion, with Ninja, because I remember when that story came out, it was a huge deal, because Twitch made Ninja, and Twitch jumped boat. He contracted with Mixer for a crazy sum of money, somewhere around $30-40 million for a multi-year contract. And I don't know if you guys understand that. These guys like Ninja, he's probably already making something like that, $6 to $8 million, something like that in the year. So the $10 million contract that he got from Mixer was on top of that. That was to say you're only going to stream with us and nobody else. He still gets all his sponsors. He still gets all of his Patreons. He still gets all of his ad revenue. All of that stuff is still his. It's not like they contracted him and he makes a flat $10 million or whatever it is that he got 30, 40 over a few years or whatever it is. But the difference is they just added 10 million onto what he was already making. Does that make sense? They said you can continue to make whatever you make.
And was that actually the price of the contract?
It's estimated at 30 to 40 million over years, but he never released how many years.
Oh, okay.
It's more than 1 year is all we know. Yeah.
So it was to keep him on, so they didn't just get paid and then I'm out, I'm retiring.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That makes
we
sense.
don't know how many years, yes, but we know at least for their original. We speculate we need to take the market within 3 years, right?
Right.
And to be able to put Twitch out, so they contracted him for that. Well, the problem is that was a big one, but that was the trigger that knocked the domino effect off. And so now, because of that, it set a precedence for basically these guys are looking at it more now like a network, right? Like maybe if you owned a TV network like Fox or something like that. Well, obviously I could contract with you, and then you're mine. Well, before Ninja, they didn't do that really. You get what I'm saying? They didn't go out what you would call a headhunting. Right? Looking and poaching people from other companies and saying, hey, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Well, that has just exploded since then. So we're seeing all kinds of Twitch's top streamers leaving. The average contract for the top streamer right now, which is, let me make sure I got my numbers right here. But I want to say basically if you had 10,000 viewers, but let's make sure I'm right because I don't know this business that great. Yeah. Yep. If you're streaming around 10,000 viewers, when you put a stream out, you have 10,000 people that are watching, which usually is where you'll be if you have over 1 million or 2 subscribers. Then on an average video, you'll have 10,000 viewers. If you're doing 10,000 viewers, you're looking at a $10 million contract from one of the top 3.
Wow.
To pull you away from Twitch right now. So that's a lot of freaking money.
And
on top of the money you're already making.
I was just about to say, you go in a heartbeat. Once in a lifetime deal, especially with streaming. You don't know how popular you're going to be.
Yep. You don't know when that's going to die off or anything like that. I want to say they had another number written on here that I'm scanning through to see if I can see it. This article's really long, so that's why I'm trying not to just read it. But I want to say they said if you're running over 1,000 viewers on average on each one, you may be looking at even close to $1 million contract. Let's see here. It just says $10,000 concurrent views, which is just meaning you're having people actually regularly viewing each one 10,000 times, right? Twitch is giving you on Twitch or other ones, they're going to give you 10 million, while smaller ones that are noticeably smaller are still getting close to $1 million contracts. 10,000, when you're thinking of YouTube and stuff, doesn't sound like that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10,000 views. Of course, everything's different. If you were doing 10,000 listens on a podcast, you're going to be in the top 100 of iTunes real quick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it's definitely different when you're talking about streams. It's not a 10-minute video, guys. You're talking about
it's a whole day's work.
A 2-hour stream, and they're staying for
daily,
at least 50% of it.
And throughout the week,
daily.
too. Yeah.
But I could do that for 10 million.
Oh, yeah, I could. Gabriel in the chat said that he said PewDiePie moved over to D Live, which is another streaming service, after he got in trouble with Twitch as well. So.
And then we got 2 big kid streamers that just went over. FaZe Mega and FaZe Dubs. They're kind of a team. They do tournaments and stuff like that, and they compete. So they're not big, like regular streamers per se, in the sense of they're not entertainment streamers, right? They're players.
Right.
And they, from what they were saying, they were making, one of them made $120,000 this year. The other one made $80,000 this year. They're 14 years old. Yeah. And that's not counting their tournament winnings. That's just counting what they're getting on streaming. They both contracted and went to, I think Mixer is what it says it went to here. So, and then another big one here was Wang. He's 28 years old. He's one of the top names in Twitch streaming. And he's the guy that wore a mask forever, right? Everything he did, all of his tournaments, all that kind of stuff, he always had that mask on. He had a big mask, removal deal where I think that brought in over 2 million viewers, all on one stream.
Is he a good-looking kid?
Mask off. Yeah, he's a good-looking kid.
Good.
I mean, he's I
was just curious how that reveal went.
oh yeah, like maybe if he had a messed up face or something weird. No,
Right.
I think that was just part of his gimmick. He's just a normal looking guy.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so he did his reveal, and that obviously caused a pretty big spike in his stuff. And he's also contracted and pulled away from Twitch.
Man.
I'm sure there's many, many more. These are just a couple of the big.
So there's about to be
ones.
a huge bidding war amongst these, or there is amongst these streaming services.
Yeah, it's just going off right now. And actually, in my opinion, that's the best thing for you.
Oh yeah.
If you're a streamer, that's the best thing that could possibly happen. It's not great for the streaming companies, right? But it's awesome for streamers because what happens is that means, say you had 1 million people streaming, right? And let's just say 700,000 of those were on Twitch because it was the streaming platform to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now if 200,000 of those leave, your competition on all of those other sites, including Twitch, has gone down, right? And so some of your other big guys that may have been the top Twitch guys for whatever game you play, say Fortnite, they left. Well, a lot of times people still stay on Twitch. They don't follow the guy. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. So that leaves you a lot of viewers or customers, if you want to look at it that way, that are actually there and ready to start watching your stream. So the streaming market is actually going up for the individual, even though it's kind of going down for some streaming companies and up for other streaming companies, and it's a battle for the companies.
Yeah.
For the individuals, they're making more money per stream on average right now. So definitely an uptick, and it's in the news a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because of that. There's nothing bad about free advertising.
It's crazy how quick this thing has taken off. I remember in 2013 hearing about Twitch, finding out about it, and kind of getting into it a little bit. And it was just this website that did streaming, and now it's now we have all these streaming services, and it's a part of our entertainment, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where don't you kind of wish you just kind of jumped into something like that? You didn't even have to be a pro to be good on that. Nobody knew that was going to be the new YouTube. I mean, if you did, everybody would have gone on it because YouTube was so saturated.
Oh yeah.
Why not just become a streamer, right? And now a lot of people wish they did.
Yep. Hey, that's where I found out about DayZ though was Twitch back in the day before it became the standalone game. Yeah.
Nice. Well, next on the list is something that if your kids are paying attention, you may want to skip this part. We're not going to talk graphically, but we're talking about graphics and not graphic cards, guys. This is a kid's game, and you've heard of it. It's called Roblox. It's kind of in my opinion, it's like somebody stole Legos and made a game. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they move around like that. It's not Minecraft because it's not about really building, right? Unless you're a modder. It's just about playing. And it's got all kinds of different courses and obstacles and game modes, and pretty much if you can imagine a mini game, it's built into this. Maybe races or swimming or whatever. It's in there. That's what it's for. It's a pretty wholesome game in general. If you've ever checked it out with your kids, there's not much trash on there. Even the chats that I see going on at the bottom of my daughter's screen, I check it on a regular basis. There's almost never any kind of negative talk or trash talk or sexual talk. Of course, she gets on certain servers that I look up first and make sure, hey, this game, something that a lot of people, adults are on or older people are on, because everybody knows anytime you have a popular kid game, you have people that want to prey on kids also on that game. That's a normal thing. So you got to be careful about that for YouTube Kids, any of that. Well, this is not the first time. I think this is the second or third time that YouTube has suddenly contained a bunch of weird videos about a game that shouldn't be weird. And when I say weird, I mean Roblox porn. Yep, you heard me.
Wow.
We're talking about
Just drop the
pornography, and it's a little bit bigger than Lego porn because these guys have more curves, if you know what I mean. Anyways, when we say that, we're talking about full nude. The guys who are modding this, I guess, are putting breasts on the girls, penises on the guys. They're having full-on orgies, for a lack of a better word. And the worst part about it is it's not like, well, we're just going in here into Roblox and playing this game. It's more like these mods are, it's not like there's normal people too, right? Because if you were a normal person, you walked in, you wouldn't have these parts on your character. Does that make sense? And so everybody in these servers knows that it's for this. So I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression that your kid could accidentally stumble onto a porn server. Not the case. It's not going to pop up on the normal Roblox app. It's not going to pop up for kids to just join in and have some Roblox sex. No. So that's why I use the word Roblox porn, right? Porn means it's a video.
Well,
It's
one of
there
the
for people to
articles
watch
I
later.
read, the mom was saying her kid was playing on a server like that, or came across it,
Well,
and she caught him. So how did that happen?
That's because he wasn't just playing on it. He heard about it and sought that one out.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So on the regular Roblox, from everything I've looked up, on the regular Roblox app, like on your phone, right? Maybe different from the computer, but on the Roblox app on your phone, none of these are going to pop up like in your feed.
Okay.
You'd have to search them.
Some of the stuff
It's not
I
that they're
saw,
not
they
there.
acted like it was that it got out into the regular Roblox, and then they were like scrambling to shut it down, keep it separated.
And yes,
so I
these
don't
people
know.
these people who have the modded characters can go into the regular Roblox and do these things.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is the servers, like the game modes that were made for this, wouldn't pop up for your kid to find it.
So maybe
That
what
makes
I
sense?
read was just talking about the guy's junk just hanging out there, and their kids.
Yeah,
seeing
either
it.
that or the kid kind of heard about this or saw it on YouTube. That's the problem. The reason I use the word porn is not that this is just a game with sex in it. These sex servers are made to make porn. Okay? So all your porn sites and even YouTube with the blurs being used have been flooded with Roblox porn. So it's
Oh
not
my
just about the
gosh.
game. They've specifically made these servers to make Roblox porn. Does that make sense? And
That's so weird.
some of your kids may have seen that and then looked up that server and went to it. So that's the warning we're trying to get to here.
Okay.
Not that they're probably going to accidentally
Don't
stumble
abandon
on it, from
Roblox.
everything I
I'm gonna
understand.
have to research it though, because
Yeah.
I want to find that article I had, because they were acting like it was like they were somehow modding the regular servers and just popping in there.
Could you imagine?
And kids were getting exposed to the full on booty holes and all that jazz.
Yes.
In the
That's
beginning.
these guys. No, yeah, you're right. That's the guys that have, what I'm telling you is that's your normal guys in the sense of, here, say you had a character that had been modded to look nude, right?
Right.
Well, you can take that character into any of the servers,
Right.
right?
So that to
But-
me is pretty bad. If
That
my
is
daughter
bad.
was on there.
Right. And so that has happened some, but my impression is that is what got cracked down on early.
Okay, so they've
The
got
big
that
thing
handled.
that people are still going crazy about is that all these videos are out. You know what I mean? And so when your kids are searching Roblox videos on YouTube, right? There's, from what I understand, there shouldn't be any now left at all on YouTube Kids, right? It's got a stricter algorithm and it finds that kind of stuff quick. But on YouTube regular, yeah, because it's blurred out, right? And so they don't even take it off of there. So if your kids are searching for Roblox video on regular YouTube, which I recommend to get YouTube Kids if your kids are using regular YouTube Kids
there's
is
just
much
too many
more trustworthy.
opportunities on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, this is probably the third time we've talked about crazy stories about cartoon characters and stuff like that doing sexual things on YouTube. So here we are again, seeing fellatio and all this stuff going on with Roblox.
And he doesn't mean
Yeah, we
Uncle
don't-
Fellatio.
No, and we don't want to see that. But if your kid plays Roblox, right? I would say that you should do some research yourself. Make sure that there aren't still a bunch of people doing this, and maybe stay off of Roblox for a little while.
Maybe let them
other
get
than
a
that-
handle of it.
Yeah, and other than that, I think you should just regularly be checking anyways. Like even before I knew this was going on with my daughter, I regularly take the phone. I check out who's on that server with her, who she happens to be playing around. She doesn't really she's not allowed to accept invites to like group up with people. Just for that reason altogether, she can't. And she doesn't really know how to use the chat, but she knows how to read. So now I have to actually watch and make sure these people aren't writing in that chat. And in all reality, I'm kind of glad that she got on, what do you call it? Minecraft. Because if your kid likes Roblox, they probably will love Minecraft. And Roblox doesn't have, unless they get into modding, there's no creativity. There's no learning going on in Roblox, really. It's just playing
and having
it's
fun.
kind of simple stuff. You know what I mean? To where if you're doing something like Roblox, it's bursting those imaginary juices. You know what I mean? It's just going. You're thinking all kinds of things
can
to
you
build
build?
and create. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it helps with reading and all kinds of things because the kids get excited about finding this or that material. Well, not everything looks so identifiable on Minecraft because the graphics are really poor, right? So you have to read the name of it on your inventory to find out what it is.
To figure out, yeah.
And so it's good for that kind of stuff. So I would recommend pushing your kids towards Minecraft anyways. It's much more creative.
And you
would
can
be
do
the simple
private
word for
servers
it.
with that if you don't want them playing online.
Yeah. Yep. Or just let your kids play with only a couple friends they know, and and trust.
Like
You
the
have
old
worlds that they
neighborhood
share
stuff.
together.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel you.
That's all I've got. That was my news. It's sad to me. But
No, they were all
It
really
is.
good though. They were. Everything was good.
You dove deep into that one, man. That was
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I need to go take a shower now.
yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
You should
They
shower
really
anyways.
Violated just reading this article. Like I think they put too many on here. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
They actually had pictures.
we needed one picture on the article. Yeah, and this is on Daily Mail. Like all we really needed was one picture to know exactly
To get
what you're
the
talking
idea
about.
of what these little Lego characters
but
are doing.
there's like 42 super graphic pictures on here. You know what I mean?
I think
it's like we don't need that.
The ones I saw, I think it just made me feel more weird because it's like, not only is it the porn part, but it's like there's that innocence to the toy, to the character,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it's like
and then
Legos.
you
It
have
makes
this, and you're like, what the freak,
Well, it almost makes you think like it's literally specifically child porn. Like
In a way,
there can't be that many adults attracted to Roblox porn. So it kind of makes you feel like the Roblox porn was designed for kids to watch. You get what I'm saying? And
So
that's what
weird.
really rubs me the wrong way.
Oh yeah, but there's people out there that are predators, or they just want to ruin your kid's innocence. So, be proactive, be on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Hope you guys enjoyed the news. I know most of it was negative. Bad game, worst game. Leaving the Twitch, I think, was a good thing, and then kids porn will never have a good spin. So
Yep, there's no way we can make that positive.
no.
And for a good thing, if we're making it positive, you might be on the wrong podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Hunter has some tips and some tricks that he wants to present.
In a world of Easter eggs and cheats, it's time for what they don't want you to know.
Well, hey guys, welcome to some tips and tricks. Earlier I said, should I stay or should I go? Today we're going to talk about getting out of here. And, watch my mouth here, but this game is titled GTFO. It's kind of a newer game. I don't exactly know actually when it came out, but I've seen recently more players playing this game that I watch and follow on Twitch and on YouTube. And it looks like a pretty cool game. So the game is titled GTFO, like I said. I don't need to
Get the freak out.
Yeah,
However you want to take
don't need to elaborate on that. But anyway, so this game, I got a little overview for you. These tips and tips and tricks do not go super deep into this game, but kind of a base level of like if you're just starting this game, what you need to know about it, how it works, stuff like that. So without further ado, feel free to stop me, gentlemen, anytime you need to ask a question.
I'm excited. I haven't played this one, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what it's even about.
So, good thing you asked, Ryan. GTFO is a 4-player co-op horror game. In this game, players are tasked with retrieving or getting an object / items. While working towards the objective, you will need to fight your way through hordes of enemies using whatever tactics you see fit. So, basically, from what I've seen in this game, is like an extraction mission. So you're going down into this infested base, collecting something and getting the heck out of there.
Okay.
That's the whole name of the game.
Okay.
But you have to be strategic. You have to work together. There's different things. They look like zombies. They're more like creatures, I guess you'd call them. They're humanoid creatures looking things. Maybe they are infected and they mutated, whatever it may be. They're after you. And they've almost got the I Am Legend vibe, where they're in the darkness, being very silent, and when you awaken them, they come to you. If that makes sense. So, first off, I want to touch on is what the enemies are like in this game. They're not all the same. There's 5 different types in this game.
Oh, I like it already.
Yeah, so the first one we're going to talk about is the Striker.
Okay.
The Striker is the most common enemy within the game and will launch attacks at you, dealing 12% damage to your health. The Striker has 2 stances, standing and crawling. While standing, the Striker will run towards you and attack you with what can only be assumed to be its tongue or some mass of muscle. So that's the Striker. That's how he comes at you. The next one is called the Shooter. The Shooter is the second most common enemy within the game, and when alerted, it will keep a distance from the player and shoot beams of light that curve towards the player and deal 5% damage to your health. While the shots will curve towards you, they are relatively easy to sidestep unless you are being shot with multiple angles. This enemy requires a fully charged sledgehammer to kill.
Okay.
The next one, that was the Shooter. The next one is called the Big Striker. The Big Striker is the larger version of the Striker, like its predecessor. Can't talk tonight. Predecessor. It can shoot a mass of flesh out of its head at you. It can even do this after it has been destroyed. When you are next to the Big Striker, its attacks will deal 40% to your health, and you can stagger it with charged melee attacks, and a team of fully charged sledgehammers can down it in one go.
Nice.
So if you charge all your sledgehammers, you can hit it all together at once and down it in one go. It's pretty cool.
So is he more like a boss character?
He's not necessarily a boss, but he's probably more rare than these other guys.
This is probably a dumb question, but did you mention how to charge your hammer? I mean, it's probably just an automatic thing in the game.
Not yet. I don't know for sure. It may say at the bottom of this article. I don't remember reading that, but I can look into that in a second.
The game
sure.
Probably just knows it's probably automatic,
So that was the Big Striker. The Scout is the next on our list. The Scout is an enemy that does not spawn in a sleeper state. Every other enemy in the game spawns in a sleeper state. Like I was telling you, they're kind of hunched over asleep, and if you wake them, like I Am Legend, then they come after you.
Okay.
The Scout looks similar to a Shooter. However, they are slightly taller. The Scout can detect players by extending tendrils from its body towards every direction. If it touches the player, the Scout will scream and a blue light will flash from it. This will alert nearby enemies and spawn an extra wave, just like an alarm events.
Dirty.
It is usually best to just shoot a Scout in the head to kill it. However, you can kill it with a fully charged sledgehammer when it is in a walking state. It has worked for me. However, it is buggy and might not always work. So basically, they're saying keep your distance. And I've watched guys play this game so far, and a lot of times they just avoid these guys because they're basically the alarm system.
Kill them right away.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to have your gun, I think, in a certain state silenced or something, so you don't wake everybody else up.
Okay.
But it's kind of creepy how these things work. They look like, they call them tendrils, which, they don't really look in the game like tentacles, but they shoot out from this guy's head, and they look like fungus growing in the air towards different. It's crazy looking. It's super freaky, super creepy, and when you're in the dark watching it, it just gives you the chills.
So I would say he's, in a way, if you're a Left 4 Dead fan from the past, he's kind of like a witch.
Somewhat.
Extreme problems if you wake him.
Yes.
Or if you set him off. That's kind of
That's
what
right.
a witch was like. You're to sneak by a lot of times.
So the next one on our list is called the Big Shooter. The large shooter is the larger version, obviously, of the Shooter. Unlike the Shooter, which shoots a single shot, the large shooter will shoot a burst shot at you. Okay. Further confirmation is needed on how many melee attacks it takes to down it. So this must be a newer game, obviously, a newer release, because they don't even know yet for sure how many stealth attacks it takes, or melee attacks it takes. So that's another thing in this game. I haven't got there yet because we're still talking about you know, the different monsters. But let me see.
The graphics look really good on the game.
Yes. So those were the 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there's 2 types of fighting, obviously, in this game. There's melee, which is with your sledgehammer, and then there's shooting. And so you have a different list of guns, which I'll get to you. I'll get for you in a second. But first of all, let's talk about the different kind of ways to traverse the map. Let's talk about stealth. Okay, one of the most important aspects of this game is stealth. When you start the game, all enemies, with the exception of the scout, like we talked about, are in a sleep state. So there's a difference. So they're hunched over, right? They're sleeping. Well, when they're in a sleeper state, there are 3 ways you can kill them. You can shoot them with a gun. When 5 meters away from the enemy, moving and crouching and uncrouching will kind of send them into a state which is called stirring.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, they're crouched. Yeah, they're crouched down. But when they start stirring, they'll start to glow and move a little bit in their crouch state, which makes for a super freaky visual. Okay.
That makes me think of I Am Legend for sure. Some of that.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a way that you kind of go into this. This is the way you are alerting them. Okay, so like when they're in their sleeping state, and then they start to go into their stirring state. The things you do not want to do while they're stirring is shoot your gun. You don't want to be crouching or uncrouching or moving a ton when you're 5 meters away from them. So basically, if you're moving in the dark and you don't see something, and all of a sudden something lights up to your right and starts to pulse, you want to just stop.
Okay.
Stay still because it's stirring.
Yeah.
Then it'll go back
until it goes back to.
Yeah, it goes back to its state, and then you can sneak up and try to end it with a hammer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the other way, shooting your gun will set them off. Doing the movements too close while they're glowing will cause heartbeats, which can wake them up. And number 3 is shining your flashlight on an enemy. So there's some aspect to this game of how you need to use your flashlight too, which again is a very good way to add some spook to this game. Okay, you can't always have your flashlight on, and so again, it makes me think of I Am Legend when he's in the building and he's using his hand over his flashlight and he goes over them and they're all pulsing. Gives me chills still. It should be noted that you will only be detected from movement if the enemy is glowing red. So it goes into that glowing red state. When it goes back to sleeping, you can do your movements, but be careful because as soon as they go into that state, you have to be quiet and shut down. It says, now in order to kill the enemies, you're going to need to take out your melee weapon and bash them in the head. You may have noticed that if you hold mouse 1, you will have a meter that starts to charge on your crosshairs. That's how you charge your sledgehammer. And once it's fully charged, you take a good swing. So there's an aspect to that too. Didn't mean to say a cuss word there. Where you have to think about that big guy again, where it said the 4 of you have to charge. There's a challenge there. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to make sure you're charging at the right time. Because, you know, me and Ryan are on top of things, and we start, and then Clinton starts 30 seconds late because he's always late. And then all of a sudden we just anger this guy, and we don't kill him. So that's pretty cool.
And then I hide in the back and let him kill you. You know?
Yes. Yep. The more you fill up the meter, the more damage you do.
This is that game where you bring the wrong guy on who doesn't want to sneak.
Oh,
yes.
And you just can't stand playing with him. Like, this game is for sneaking. It's not a run and gun game.
No.
He just wants to keep playing that way, and everybody dies.
No, you won't get very far.
Man, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's games
that
though, and you just
can't Leroy Jenkins this.
Yeah.
The more you fill up the meter, the more damage you do. However, holding it long will cause you to swing too long. So, like if you're holding the meter and you hold it past the time to fully charge, it's going to swing it for you. So you can mess up there.
Be a weak swing.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Well, I don't know about that, but even if you're sitting there charging and you're not locked onto the right spot, and then all of a sudden you swing and hit the wrong thing. So the charge required to kill an enemy in stealth differs for each enemy class. The striker, a charge required is a slight charge with a headshot. With the shooter, it's a full charge with a headshot. With the scout, it's a full charge. With the striker, again, you need a headshot with all full charges from 4 players. And from the big shooter, again, you need all 4 players to have a full charge. So the big guys...
Striker twice there.
There's a striker. Oh, okay, sorry. The striker is the beginning, which is a slight charge, and then the second striker was the big striker.
Oh, okay.
So there's a striker, a shooter,
and there's a big shooter and a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
a scout.
That's your 5.
Scout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is basically the same word.
The big
kinda.
ones are big, from what I saw.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. You got to use in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The big ones are big.
The strikers will sometimes.
They're very large in size. Sorry.
It says on here, note, the strikers will sometimes survive a half swing, so charging fully for a safely swing is usually a good idea. I don't really see what the point of doing a half swing is unless you're in a hurry. But at that point, you're not stealthing anymore, so just pull out your gun, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It said a moderate swing kills a striker. I just go ahead and do at least 3/4. Just go ahead and charge it up, you know?
Right.
Maybe there's something in the game we don't know about yet that'll cause us to want to hurry. Who knows? And then it also says, note, the scout can be killed in 1 headshot while fully charged. However, it's kind of buggy sometimes and may not work. So you kind of see these guys are putting in that there's some bugs. Again, that's because it's a new game. I'm sure these things will be patched and fixed as the time goes on. And he says, a small tip. If you are outnumbered by the nearby enemies, you can go next to an enemy where you can see all your nearby enemies and kill it when the others are not glowing. Another small tip, if you fail to kill an enemy and they are alerted, you have a several second window to kill it before it alerts all the other enemies on the map. So I did see this on a gameplay. They basically, if you hit them and you don't kill them, they stand up, they get really glowy, and then they're about to let out their screech, and you have a couple seconds to just pop right over the head. Okay? So another...
they alert a bunch more.
Yes. Another time that comes into play is sometimes the enemies will be right by each other, and they hear you swing your hammer. So you literally have that one over the head, and then you have to turn and keep your calm and hit it. I was watching somebody on YouTube play, and he said at first what he was doing is he'd hit one, and then one would stand up right beside him, and he'd make a quick movement because he was freaking out a little bit, and then all of a sudden everybody's alerted because he was just made too much noise. Whereas you just hit, you gather yourself calmly and turn and hit, and you're good. And it's so cool to see. You got to keep your composure in this game, because if not,
you got to breathe.
It all falls apart.
Yeah.
So
I love that aspect of it. What would be hard for me is remembering to charge that melee weapon.
Right. So in this game, we have primary weapons, and those primary weapons are a pistol, which does low damage. It has a high ammo reserve. The recoil is low. It has a medium range, and the fire rate is semi-auto. Then you have the SMG, which does low damage. It has a high rate of reserve. The recoil is low. The range is short, and the fire rate is full auto.
Okay.
Then you can move on to your DMR, which is medium damage. The reserve is medium. The recoil is low. The range is long, and the fire rate is semi-auto. And then lastly, you have the assault rifle, which the damage is low. The ammo reserve is medium. The recoil is low. The range is medium. And the rate fire is fully auto. I think it's kind of funny that the assault rifle is low. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I find that funny too. It says low damage kill strikers. Oh, sorry. Low damaging kill strikers in 1 headshot. Medium damage weapons kill shooters in 1 headshot. And high damage weapons will kill scouts in 1 headshot. The game defines damage and range differently. However, I find this to be the easiest way of understanding it.
What it's saying is with an assault rifle, it's low, but it's fully automatic. So it may take you 2 or 3 bullets to kill something, even though it's low. So then that way, the only one that you said was medium, I think, was the gun that was semi-automatic, right?
It was the DMR.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
they kind of even it out with
Mm-hmm.
the quicker you can shoot, kind of thing.
so the basic the killers in these games, the strikers, you can kill with a one headshot from a low damaging gun.
So
That's
like
pretty cool.
Guns are dedicated to certain enemies too, as far as being better.
So is there any more guns? Is there like a sniper rifle?
Yes, there's a special weapons.
Okay.
Those were the primary, and these are the specials. You got the shotgun with a medium damage, a low ammo reserve, a medium recoil, short shot range, obviously, and then a semi-auto fire rate. Then you have yourself a combat shotgun, which is high damage, low ammo reserve, low recoil. The range is short, and then you got the full auto again.
Gotcha.
Or it's a full auto instead of semi-auto. That's what I mean to say there. So full automatic shotgun. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
The next one is a revolver.
I want that gun on Call of Duty.
There you go.
Revolver with the semi-auto shotgun.
Yeah. So you have the revolver, which is a medium damage, low reserve, high recoil, medium range, and a semi-auto. And then the last gun on the list is a machine gun, which has a low damage, but it's got a medium ammo reserve, low recoil, and the range is medium. Plus, the fire rate is full auto plus charge up. So you must full auto till your clip's gone, and then it charges up, I guess, is what I'm gathering from that.
Okay.
He goes on to say, my recommendations to new players would be to use the pistol and the MG, as they are very easy to use, and you won't have to worry as much about making your shots count. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, especially if you're new to the game and you're going to be freaking out a little bit. As you get better, you'd probably recommend using some higher damage ones that you can take some skill shots, stuff like that. So tools, the tools in the game. The tools have many different uses. However, to put it simply, they slow down, kill, or detect enemies. Those are the three jobs that they have. The first tool you can come across is called the sea foam launcher. Not like the under the sea, but sea, literally sea-foam launcher. This is probably the first tool you see when you load into the lobby. To put it simply, it shoots foam charging. I'm sorry, the punctuation on this article that I'm reading is terrible. To put it simply, it shoots foam. Charging it up will shoot more foam. But don't let that fool you. It has a very important role in the survival. Mm-hmm. The foam, when shot into the ground, can slow and immobilize enemies and give you just enough time to reload and kill the enemies rushing at you. Along with it, it can be sprayed into doors to block up doors, causing the enemies to take longer to break them down. And the doors, the doors are very useful in alarm events. So basically, let me explain that a little bit because I've seen this too. You have big, they almost look like airlock doors in this game, and they come down, and you have to use a panel to open them and close them. Well, you can close these in the tracks that you're going as a strategy to stop different paths that they might come to you when there's a horde. But the thing is they can break through these doors. It only takes a matter of time for them to break through them. So what the seafoam launcher does is it's like a grenade that you can throw to block up a door, which takes them longer to break down, or you throw it in a path of a big horde coming towards you, and if it's charged up correctly, it can stop a bunch of them in their tracks. Now you just have target practice.
They just stick into it, kind of sounds
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so these can be very handy. In fact, I've watched a guy on single player beat the first mission because he had seafoam, and he was able to stop a bunch of them and use those with different other tools. So that was the seafoam. The next tool is called the Bio Tracker. The Bio Tracker is a tool that tells you the locations of enemies within the area, their distance from you, and their distance from you, and it can scan for moving, awaking enemies and ping them. It is very useful when trying to stealth or figure out what's in the next room. Only one player on the team should have this at all time. Otherwise, you're wasting a tool space.
Okay.
That's helpful.
So you can probably just carry one tool. Each person carries one tool.
Mm-hmm.
So you
One
kinda have
type
a
of tool.
purpose in a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. I think if you do single player, you can carry a couple. I may be wrong, but the guy I was watching used a combination of C-phone and mines. So either he had already placed them and went and got other ones, or he was able to carry a couple. But that would make sense in multiplayer for them to let
each
you.
person may still carry more than one, right? You just
Right.
may have just a limited
Yes.
slots.
I bet.
Team. You know what I mean?
I bet you're right. So the bio tracker basically lets you see what enemies are where and what their state is. I think is what we could get from that basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is the mine deployer. This tool deploys laser activated mines. They deal slash damage, so it can be very effective against groups of enemies. It can also be effective and damage enemies like the big striker and the big shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware that if it is not placed low enough, a striker might be able to crawl under it. Freaky. Okay, so these guys don't just run at you upright; they crawl on all fours sometimes.
Yeah,
Worst
I saw that in the
nightmare.
video. Clint was
Kind of
on
creepy,
there,
right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the guys on DayZ do. They drop down on all four and do that bear crawl roll.
Kind of do a little
Do they
animal
really?
around you.
Is that a new
Oh,
thing?
yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, they
yeah,
just
they didn't used to.
updated them.
Now they
yeah.
do. They move around you.
And they can
It's
jump over
definitely a lot different.
fences and all sorts of like
Yeah.
they
I
don't
actually
like
come
it.
after you now.
I don't like it.
And they spawn in houses. They now wear survivor gear, so it's all throws you off all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely not as. It's not as scary in the day because it's DayZ. It's not meant to be real scary. But at night, the zombies have added a pretty big element, I would say.
Right.
We're used
All
to
right.
it, you know, they.
Yeah, right. So we went through the Seafoam launcher. We did the bio tracker, the mine developer. The last one, but certainly not the least, is the sentry gun. There's a burst sentry gun and a shotgun sentry gun. The burst sentry gun can aim for heads, and the shotgun sentry can kill enemies in one shot. Be aware that positioning for the shotgun turret is very important and can make it either very strong or very weak. Additionally, you can get shot by your own sentry gun if you stand between it and an enemy.
Oh, nice.
So you can take damage from the sentry gun. You don't want to get in front of it, which I like that because sometimes it's so fake on these where you place a sentry gun down and the bullets just going around you. But what I can imagine from the shotgun sentry, a good place to probably place those would be in doorways because obviously the enemy has to come through that narrow doorway.
Right.
And in my mind, the shotgun needs to be closer to do more damage. Whereas the burst sentry gun, you could probably have a distance in a corner of a room or something like that, you know.
Right.
So those would be good placements of that. And then last on this list of useful tips or just kind of our tricks here is how to use the terminals. There's terminals in these games, and it shows some pictures on here. The terminal in GTFO is used to locate items around the map. There's only a few commands that you will use on a normal basis. List will show all items on the map, however, it will not tell you which zone it is in. If you want to search for one of those items, you can use query, which tells you which zone an item is in. If you want to find all the items within a specific zone, you should use list zone and then insert the number of the zone there.
Okay.
Be aware that if you only list the number of the zone if you list only the number and not the zone, you will get anything with that number, such as boxes and IDs that aren't in the area. So I guess you have to put zone blah blah. If you just do the number, it won't work.
Zones, what you want to search for. Okay.
Pressing the up arrow key will copy the command you just entered back into the console. You can keep pressing up to go back to previous commands before that. This can be very useful when you don't want to re-enter command and you just want to change a small thing on the end, such as changing list zone 44 to list zone 43. Personally, these are the only commands I use. However, if you're looking for a more detailed guide, you should visit GTFO / how to use the terminals.
Okay.
So that's basically it. This looks like a really fun game, guys. I'd love to play. No, I don't.
Okay.
I could get that information for you right now, though.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
We need to get that early access price before it goes up. Because it looks like,
Right.
from what I looked at, it looks really legit as far as doesn't look buggy. It already looks pretty smooth
Right.
from the gameplay.
I definitely want to try this. I've seen people play it, and it looks really good. And I think it'd be really fun to get our spook on.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Looks like a lot of fun. Looks like it'd be definitely entertaining to.
Oh yeah, we've all been itching for
watch.
that. The new games, the couple zombie games that are on their way. The ones that the Left 4 Dead guys are developing,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another one that a couple of the original Left 4 Dead guys are developing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about those, and it's kind of like I'd love to get my hands on something like that right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right meow.
So on Steam, it is running 10% off right now. It's $31.49.
Okay.
And then I have a little website here that I kind of want to plug, but it's a discount website,
Okay.
and it's only like 30 cents cheaper on there. So it's
Okay.
$31.33 on there. So might as well grab it on Steam, guys. If I'm
Yeah.
real honest with you. So
That's not bad. That's kind of the beauty nowadays of gaming.
PC gaming.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're not going to go
But-
find a new game and for PlayStation for $33.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
still
That's
gonna be
true.
$60. Yep.
But I think that's the way gaming's going. I think consoles will take some strategies from that, you know. But that is one thing as a working dad makes me happy is we can snag these $20 and $30 games that are still pretty good, you know, and enjoy playing.
Right.
That's probably why we don't have as many AAA titles we play these days. Oh man.
For sure.
Okay, so I just pulled it up on here, just so you're wondering how new the release of the game is. December 9th was the early access initial
Okay.
release.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So it's definitely pretty
So
new
we're
still.
cutting edge tonight with.
So yeah, listen to that, man. Already getting you guys tips and tricks for a game that's not even,
Yeah,
it's like a month, something old.
Yeah.
It
Good
seems
job,
like if
Hunter.
it's a good game, that could almost like build a real following, like Left 4 Dead did back in the day. Like I'm
Mhm.
kind of jacked up right now on that. It sounds really
I think it is. I think it's going to be a good game. I would say it's kind of Left 4 Dead-ish, but a lot more realistic and
oh, it's
freaky
its own thing.
feeling.
Some of those creatures
Yeah.
kind of
I'm glad
remind
that
me
it's its
of.
own
They kind of remind me of. The Last of Us. Kind of.
yeah,
Kind
Yeah,
of a mix
I
of
get
all
that
the
vibe.
genres, maybe.
yeah.
The whole zombies genre
hmm
as a whole. So, yeah, we'll have to keep our finger on the pulse of that game and see how the community continues to react to that.
Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
right now on Steam, it's got a 9 out of 10 rating by 7,000 people.
That's good. That's really
Yeah,
good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For a $30 game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's
Oh,
give
yeah.
that a go, guys.
Well, tonight I'm bringing you some accessories. So let's get to that.
Are ye scurvy dogs? Where's Mirota?
And now it's time for some gadgets and gifts. Usually this segment we do kind of comedy with this. Kind of go the funny route or the weird route, you know. And then every once in a while we get some serious stuff in there. Well, tonight I went ahead and went full-blown serious.
No.
Yeah, I know, right? Ooh. But I did find some pretty cool little gadgets, some things that I think we could use for gaming as dads. So some of this is pretty interesting, and I am going to throw up my web page up here so you guys can see it. Just so you can see what I'm looking at to go through and kind of explain. So the first item on the list that I saw was and I'm going to kill this name. It's the Stygeniforce, or Stygian-Force, or Stygeniforce Professionals Kit. What this is a grip kit that you can get for your phone, and it's that way you can kind of hold the phone as you would a controller. But you still play, your thumbs still play with the screen of your phone. And the system itself comes with some synthetic rubber coated palm grips that you can hang on to. It also has viscoelastic foam, and then here in the little video you see a little guy. You can detach the kind of whatever, I guess, has some fittings and stuff that you can do for some add-ons. And it says down here on the imaging and stuff like that that overall it works with all the devices. There's no remapping or third-party apps that are required for this. You don't have to jailbreak your phone. It's literally a holder for your phone to play it, like you would on a controller.
To make it a lot more comfortable, really. You probably play a lot longer playing that way.
Yep, and if you're looking on the live stream, or if you want to go back and look at it, here are some examples of, call it, I think that's maybe PUBG, or I don't know if that's PUBG, Call of Duty, what that is, but some examples of playing some shooters with this product. And the cool thing that I like, it looks like you can actually fit it to your phone. So if you have different size, maybe Android or an iPhone, doesn't matter. Right. This thing, you can actually loosen it up and size it out to what you need your phone size to be for that. So definitely a cool little item here. And this item on the website, on the StyganaForce.com website, it's priced right now at $40. The regular price is $70. And so
that seems a little steep.
Yeah, but I mean, if you play for a controller, you're going to pay $60. So
yeah, I mean, especially if you're a primary mobile gamer, like you do a lot of mobile gaming, or you do maybe mobile gaming on stream.
Yeah,
then it's not really that bad.
Like if you had a kid that just got Call of Duty on the phone for free, and that's all you can afford right now, then this might be the product for you, just to help your kid out, and now they feel like they're playing the full-on game. And so I'm going to spell that name out for everybody in the audio podcast so they know what it is. It's spelt, the company's name is spelt STYGIAN Force, FORCE. So, go visit their website, check it out, see if it's something that you want. I thought it looked pretty cool. Another little gadget that I found is an ultimate all-in-one gaming keyboard, and it's by Funyun Team. This is actually on Indiegogo, so it's kind of like a starter, it's just getting its feet under
on the ground.
Yeah. And so by buying it, it's kind of like the whole early access thing.
Gotcha.
You're actually backing the product by using the product type of deal. But this is literally, I'll throw up a little picture here for you guys in the stream. This is an all-in-one gaming keyboard. Literally, it's a game controller, a keyboard, a mouse. It has CSR high-fidelity audio. It's all-in-one powerful, ultra-portable device. As you see here, you can plug your headphones into it to use it. Let's see if they have any other examples. Here's a video of it. I'll actually mute the deal. But as you can see, it has the analog stick for if you're moving around and things like that.
Wow. That's different.
Yeah. So it looks like it plugs into your system or into your phone. However you want to do it. So it's a little different from the last gadget, a little more in depth, has a lot of other.
So that's kind of replaced my situation with trying to use a. You said it can plug into your computer.
That I'm not sure of.
Okay.
I know you're using it with your phone, primarily is what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's made to kind of be an all-in-one for your. I mean, I don't know why you would use that on the computer, right?
Yeah,
I tell you where I would give my money to is a gaming keyboard that you could plug your PlayStation remote directly into.
Yeah.
Instead of having to take another port up on my computer, You know what I'm saying? That you could plug it into the keyboard and it would just.
Yeah,
That'd be
I know.
pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I know.
That's
like,
what I was going with this. I thought this was something you could plug in and use as a
Oh.
keyboard in your computer and also a gaming pad. So,
Gotcha.
but I like it I get it for the
Mobile.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that works. I do know. I think I know. Like the Razer keyboard, they have USB ports built into their keyboards, so you might check into those if you ever want to get one of those. They're a little more expensive, but they do come with like a USB port. I think it just. I'm not sure how it would pick up the controller, but they do make some of the more higher end keyboards with that. Just so you know, on that little gadgetry. So let's see. So we looked at that one. I had another one, I think, on a phone. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that was, yeah, I guess that was it that I had as far as phone controllers go. The next thing I searched up was Amazon. We always like looking up Amazon for stuff, and I was like, do they have anything useful towards gaming? And it turns out they do have some pretty cool things that you can do. So one of the things that I wanted to mention for our PlayStation pals out there, our dads that have the PlayStation 4, you can get a real wood frame, like a walnut color, cover for your PlayStation, and this is by Toast, and it is priced at $60, but it's literally a visual for your PlayStation. Maybe you have an entertainment system that's built of wood, that walnut look to it. Well, you can do it. It's a simple peel and stick adhesive backing, made of it's a real wood cover made in the USA, and it includes the full kit to wrap device. So
it's almost like a D brand or something like that. It's a wrap, but it's made of wood.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can.
So it's actually hard. It's not just a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know how I feel about spending $60 for a sticker,
Yeah,
but if it's got some type of
it's
texture
actual
to it,
wood.
it's actual
Yeah.
wood.
Right, I
It
got
has
you.
adhesive on the back.
that's okay. I
Yeah.
can
So you can
dig that.
Yeah, you can choose from 4 natural materials. You got walnut, whitewashed ash, bamboo, and ebony. So there you go.
I'd like
You
some
feel
ebony, please.
Yeah, if you feel like spicing up the PlayStation life before the next gen comes out, then go for it. Spend your $60 on Amazon and get you that fresh wood smell. You know
Did
what
you
I'm
show
saying?
us all the different colors on the stream?
No, just the one.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm cheap like that. That's all you're getting out of me,
The
Hunter.
disappointment.
Dang. Okay.
I love it.
So
Well, I wouldn't get to see it till tomorrow anyway. So
that's true. Do either one of you ever have issues? You're in a cold room playing a game, can't keep your hands warm. You ever have that issue?
Most definitely. That's why.
me,
I
it's
go
my
with
feet.
helmets.
There you go. Well, I'm here to let you guys know there is literally this thing that I found that's a must buy, in my personal opinion. Okay. So this, my friends, is going to change the world, I feel like. Okay.
It's a world changer. I'm
yeah,
ready.
world
I've
changer.
prepared myself mentally.
Right here. And I'm throwing a video on the stream so you can check it out. Boom.
Okay.
There you go. You see the red lights. This, my friends, is made by the company Invivo. Okay? And they're all
nice.
about that premium performance. Okay? So you want warm hands. Well, they literally make a hand warmer for your
Justin
PC
said-
gaming needs.
Justin said normally my hands are sweating.
Sweating. Well, that's because you're,
Well, I'm
you
sitting
know.
here. I'm sitting here waiting to see the video because it's really delayed compared to normal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
see?
talking about my hands are almost always hot. Actually, now that you're talking
Okay.
about while gaming, like when I grab my keyboard, my mouse, my hands are kind of sweaty. Not on my keyboard very much, but they're definitely not cold. But if I'm using a controller, my palms are sweaty for sure. Like
Here's the thing: we got a little extra insulation on our hands. I think this is
Yeah,
more for those guys that have
I mean-
the ET hands.
Or maybe you have to
I
play in
think
a
this
cold
is for
room.
cigarette smokers with poor circulation. I mean,
No.
I don't think I ever have cold hands when I'm gaming. That's a pretty intense invention they made for that.
Yeah.
Just you can reach your cigarette up through that little grate and light it.
Yeah.
This, my friends, is a niche market, as we would say. When your adrenaline, the concept is when your adrenaline gets going, when your body releases adrenaline, it's ready to get injured, so it draws blood back from the peripherals. Starts bringing the blood back to the heart, to the brain, to all that jazz. So their idea was, hey, when you're playing, you need to keep them hands warm, keep that blood flowing, so you get more out of your gaming. So
maybe you do. Maybe it ups your performance, and you just don't know that you have low circulation.
Now, it was all good until I looked at the price tag. So this is going to be for our daddies that are doing well for themselves right now.
Oh, I'm telling you, I can tell by that video that thing is built.
Yeah, this is high end. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get this for $179. But it is, it's
I thought you were going to be higher, honestly.
It's the Invevo Heat Buff is the actual name of it, Heat Buff.
Well, don't use it with a laptop because you're always fighting to keep your temps down on your laptop. Last thing you want to do is run a heater on your keyboard.
Oh yeah, you will fry. You will fry it all, baby.
I don't know if it'd work for laptop anyways, because it'd have to be like right at your chest going this way.
Yeah.
You'd be doing this all the time and then burning yourself.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't like the rest of us, and when you play video games, your hands are cold. No more waiting. Ivevo is here.
Hey, here's a big brain thought.
Yeah.
What if our hands are really getting so cold that they feel warm because of the air around us?
There you go. Could be very true. Whoa, mind blown. I do want
Doesn't
to
explain the sweat, but
never mind. That's not appropriate for this show.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
That you should have done that at your Roblox section.
Yeah, it would have been more appropriate there. I do want to make a disclaimer, though, guys. I have not used these products, nor do I endorse them as a, hey, it's a must-buy. I know I say that jokingly, but do your research on these if you really are going to buy them. I've not used any of these products, and they are not sponsoring the show.
If you've ever played a video game and had cold hands, let us know.
Yeah.
I just want to hear from one of you.
Yeah, I'm very interested. I'm usually a sweaty gamer, so.
Heck
yeah.
Definitely.
Me too.
Yeah.
And when the game gets more intense and my adrenaline's pumping, I'm frustrated because my hands are sweatier, usually.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if I'm not streaming while we're playing a game on here, like with the camera on me, I usually have my shirt off. So
yeah,
it's because I'm
you should just have your shirt off anyways.
Yeah.
Because I think we'd attract more fans.
Let that man fur fly, bro.
Give me like a couple more months of working out.
Hanging out, so come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, the real question is how much weight has Clint lost? Because me and Hunter are both doing well. I'm almost at 8 pounds down.
Nice. I'm at 6 pounds down.
I'm only 5 pounds down.
And here's the thing, guys. I'd be a lot more down.
That's good. You're smaller than me. 5 for you is definitely, that's like 10 or 12 for me. I'm a huge, you know what I'm saying next.
Yeah. Oh, Rowdy in the chat says he put that on my foots.
Agreed, Rowdy. Whoa. But at that point, Rowdy, you could go down to Walmart and get you a $20 space heater.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You're running a gaming PC.
Like that one?
You don't want it to get as hot, and you need something that's just specific for that little tiny spot, just for
on your feet.
Hey, you know what? I just thought of it, guys.
Space heaters are very small.
Brace yourself. Socks.
Hey, listen. I don't know if it's the diabetes, but sometimes with my socks, even.
Yeah.
It gets cold.
You put on some of them fleece-lined house shoes.
Them furry socks, baby.
Be
Winter
sweating,
socks.
bro. I got some little suede fleece house shoes. Like they're suede on the outside. They look like fake leather, like some old Indian moccasins. Then the inside is fleece. Sweat. I can't keep them on for more than 10 minutes, man. It's just sweating.
The only reason I say get a space heater is because, like, from the video we saw of that last one, it didn't look like it'd be safe to put down on your carpet.
Yeah,
it did look a little risky.
Yeah. I could see on a flat disc.
A little tip over because it didn't look like there's much of a screen there.
Yeah, picture you got it in this space, you know.
And then it makes me wonder, like, you're playing,
over on your feet.
You're playing and you get pissed, and then boom, you got burnt knuckles. Just, fried fingers. So I don't know. Maybe
if that's the case, let's order it now. We got a lawsuit on our hands. You know.
There you go. You can be the subject, Ryan.
You got those guys out there that are punishing themselves. They're like, I lost that match Call of Duty, and they just hold their finger up against it.
He won't lose next
Get it
time.
up to 10.
Hey, another one, and this one's aimed more at our Nintendo Switch players. Hunter, that's now you.
That's me.
This one, I was like, dude, if I had a Switch, I'd probably have to get this one for the aesthetic, for the style, and it is a let's see here, it's a red and blue overall Nintendo Switch case. It's a hard shell carry bag. It has all these little accessories. Comes with a cover for your actual Nintendo Switch. Has a HDMI cable holder. Places to put your Joy-Con grip. It's just this whole storage device, but it literally wraps up like Super Mario's.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
His overalls, and has the looks like a little suspender, for your handle for the bag, and so you can carry up to I think 10 games on this. You can put 10 games in the case. So I mean, there you go. You got your whole kit right there.
So I think I need to be marketing for these guys. Like I said, if Crash Bandicoot comes to the Smash Bros, he needs to say "wow" when he dies, right?
Right.
This, when you zip this thing up, if it does not say "here we go," I don't want it. You know what I'm saying?
Has like a little trigger on it. Ding.
Yeah. As soon as I zip this thing up, it needs to get me hyped.
Now, this is $39 on Amazon, and it's rated at a 4.7 out of 5, and you've got 78 ratings on that. They also have this little gem in Luigi colors. So if you're feeling the bigger brother, the taller brother.
They also have a miniature version of that if you're not you don't have all the money that just fits the Switch and protects it, but not really any extras. You know what I mean?
I'd go for that first. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Boom. So there you go. Get your Nintendo Switch case on. That's one thing I got to say about the Nintendo community, man. They're just so into their games. And so it just always has this awesome community support for creative ideas.
Well, here's the thing: they've stuck to what they know, and you go to PlayStation, and it's always evolving, and there's new games that are hyped up, and there's not like the other day we kept saying like when we bring up Crash Bandicoot, isn't that PlayStation? Well, no, not really.
Yep.
But it was on PlayStation.
Right.
Nintendo, it's like Mario is Nintendo.
Yeah, it's like Mario will never leave
So,
unless they go out of business. Right. Yeah.
So that's just, they've built a hype.
Zelda and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's synonymous with the Nintendo.
But I think that's good. That gives, Nintendo, and that's the thing about Nintendo. They have identity.
That's why they still have a market, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And I still have feels for them, even though I haven't played any of their products in the last
Right. Well, you need to come
10
over.
years?
I don't have, all I have is that workout game right now, honestly.
That's okay. Need to get my workout on.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, he does.
We need to get Smash Bros, though, or Mario Kart or something.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. Hey, this next one is also Nintendo Switch related, and this is going to hit both of you in the feels. Both of you. It's pricey, though. This one's definitely pricey, but pretty good idea. Especially if this is just version 1. I don't know how many of these are out, but I thought it looked really neat. And it is a mini projector, an S1 mini projector for your Nintendo Switch, guys. So you're somebody that's on the road a lot. You're in a place that doesn't have TVs that you can hook up to, or things like that. You can literally take this bad boy. You take your Nintendo Switch, drop it into the projector, just like I guess you do the base for your hookup to your TV, and you literally put this bad boy on, and it projects your game to the wall, the screen, wherever you're at, and it does this at the true. It says true 1280 by 720 high definition. So
nice.
Yeah, give you that ability to play, and it's instead of a 48-inch TV, it gives you kind of a comparison here. You can do up to 100-inch or 100 feet. So,
100 feet.
100 inch. Just sounds weird saying it. So yeah, I mean, it's also got a 3-hour battery life, so you can get some gaming out of it as long as it's fully charged. And it's literally plug and play. The price tag on this one is $269. That's the only thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Though? I mean,
I would invest in that.
And things like
yeah,
that.
yeah. If it's got a good quality, I'd invest in it for sure. There's a lot of projectors you can buy out there that are just not
up to par.
You have to have the
especially
room
when it comes
pitch
to the
black.
small, like Pico projectors or pocket projectors. A lot of them are very, very dim. You got to be in a super, super dark room for them to look any good at all.
Gotcha. So
but they do make some small ones that are laser powered, and not bulb powered, that project a decent picture nowadays.
Yeah, I would say on something like this, they better be on point. Or you're going to get trashed when it comes to gaming. Movies,
What's the
I can
rating
see them
on
getting. This is just from their website. I can look them up
okay.
on. I can look them up on Amazon, or one of you can.
I think the reason they get trashed is because it's not multi-purpose. It's You know what I'm saying?
On this one, I was like more into the idea of it.
Right.
I'm not sure how good
I think it's a great
product
idea.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like the idea of it takes that switch to the next level.
That's what's going to be coming here in the future is like those the foldable or rolling type screens, right? So you'll be able to keep with you maybe a little 12-inch screen that just looks like a stick, right? And then you can pull the screen out on it and plug that into your phone or whatever, and it'll be powered up by whatever device, right? So you can plug that into your Switch and have yourself like a nice 12-inch screen that just sits wherever you're at to play it. I think that's going to be something we're going to see here pretty soon, especially with all the because folding devices is becoming more mainstream now. You've got a couple big players like Samsung that have come out with screens that are rollable or bendable without damaging them. So I think we're going to see some real big.
That blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't get it. I can't compute how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, the technology we're going into is going to be crazy in another 10 years.
Well, they just they're building the circuit boards instead of into a hard base, right? Like we used to. They're building the circuit board into a silicone base. So all those little pixels and the stuff that's built into there can just move and
just
flex.
fold.
They're not bound to one another.
Then you think the screen itself is silicone?
Yeah, the screen itself is a plastic base, petroleum-based product.
You would think that would lower your quality
of the picture.
Like some blurriness. You think?
Probably does a little bit right now. I think on the Samsung Fold, I think it's not quite the quality of say like a Note. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No,
it is.
I'll be curious
foldable.
as to how long the structure of it holds up as far as until it starts getting the crease and lines in it and things like that, where you can tell. You know what I mean? Wonder how long that lasts.
I get what you're saying. Maybe like some dim pixels or bright pixels that are there where the fold is. And
things like that.
Yeah, first generations we're going to have problems, but I think it's exciting technology.
Oh, yeah. Anything that makes things more mobile for us is a good thing, I think. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had on gadgets and gifts as far as things that I found interesting. I did find some gaming chairs, but I feel like that's something we can talk on another night. So yeah.
Why don't you find me a gaming chair? I need one.
I need a gaming chair. This old computer chair I got's falling apart.
I need a game. That game is called DayZ.
There you go.
Hey guys, if you're listening to the stream or anything, we are going to jump on DayZ after this, shortly after. You can find us on Twitch at the Delirious Dads Gaming Twitch page. Yeah. And check us out.
Facebook.
And on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah, everywhere.
YouTube. Yep. Just not Mixer yet, but that may be down the pike. Yep. Now we know they're signing big money contracts. Delirious Dads need some work.
Yeah.
Hey, I would split 10 million 3 ways, no problem.
Yeah. Yep. 60. 2020. I'd do it.
There you go. Sweet. I love that. I didn't know you was going to give me 60. I appreciate it, bro.
Oh,
that's real nice of you. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to like and share us on Facebook. Give us a rating or review on iTunes or Google Play. And just subscribe to us. That's the biggest deal. If you subscribe, that looks good too. We just appreciate everybody supporting us. And then check us out on our Patreon if you want to support us with your green. We're over on Patreon / Delirious Dads Gaming. So
yep, we're constantly working on making everything sound better and work better and run smoother. And we want to put out more content too in between our podcasts, little videos and different things like that. And all that takes time and money to put out high quality stuff. We don't want to just put out junk. We care about what we're putting out for you guys. So we appreciate your input, and we also appreciate your help.
Yep. And then Hunter's workout update. He's still doing it. Things are just running a little slow right now.
Yes, they are. Hey, let me give you an update from me instead of Clinton so you get the full story. I am going to start running with Clinton for one. Keep him accountable right now. We're going to start running twice a week. This workout, just a quick overview of it, is good on the Switch. I will tell you, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. And if you're really getting on there and busting it, it's making you work out. And I'm not even on the highest difficulty. So it makes me sweat. I've lost 6 pounds just by changing my eating a little bit and doing that workout. And I haven't been consistent. I've maybe been doing it 2 or 3 nights a week when I really wanted to be doing it every night for you guys. But listen, guys, it's just unrealistic. I mean,
with the new
I can tell you I'm going to do that, but with my kid right now and how much I'm committed to the church and coaching and in between all that stuff, it's just not going to happen. I got to cook my wife dinner some nights. It just, by the time I get, there's always free time in the nights, but sometimes that comes at 9 o'clock and I'm not going to be running in the front room when my kid's asleep. I'm not taking that risk.
He's going to be running on DayZ, guys.
So, anyways, all I have to say is I'm continuing it.
Viewer on here.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's saying that he was told by Clint that we were not going to be gaming tonight. Maybe he was going to play with us, but
Justin,
he's raging on that.
Justin, you've known Clinton longer than I have, and if you don't know that he's a liar, then I don't know what to tell you. That's on you.
Hey, he's staying delirious.
Stay dadding.
And stay gaming.
This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show, visit our website at www.deliriousdadsgaming.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.